G'day everyone. I have the honour of having a 76-year-old on the hoist. The 76-year-old, what you may ask? Well, without a front bumper, this is a 1950 Chevrolet 3100 pickup. And yep, the morning light is terrible in here. It reflects off everything. As you can see from under there, I've got to do a little bit of work under there, but hey, that's what I'm here for. Just kicking off with a quick little walk around. I haven't spotted any rust in this vehicle whatsoever. Special. Now that's what I call a set of hinges. Look at that. Anyway, under the vehicle, and yeah, we do have literally floorboards. The back of the exhaust is going to stay there. It's not what it's here for. This 235 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine, not the correct one, but it fits nicely. I believe these come out with a 216 originally, but hey, what would I know? I wasn't born until 61. This originally, when the current owner bought the vehicle, had headers and a twin system on a 6-cylinder. He's put this on for now. You can see where the other one was here. I've got to remake from the engine down to somewhere along here and just make that right. Big, thick, heavy chassis, as you would expect. It's a pickup. All right. So it's now time to strip it off. I don't know exactly where I'll go to. I might come back to just here. I might come back to here. Yeah, the morning light's terrible, isn't it? Sorry, can't do a darn thing about it. Okay, so time to strip it down. Keep watching. You'll get to see how it was done. I believe I need to make a tapered top for it with a little insert for the gasket. You might find that interesting. There's two ways I can do it, but I've got to get it down and make sure it's not a dead flat manifold. Sometimes people put tapered gaskets and plates up to a flat one, which is not the way to do it, but I'll have a look. The engine pipe is now off, and as you can see, it was leaking there and there. It's the wrong style for it. It had flat gaskets and some rather creative welding in there. But up on the engine itself, which I'm about to clean up, it's actually got a tapered edge there for a conical gasket to fit. The gentleman has said, can I change the stud? Well, I'll have a closer look at that when I'm up there with it. Got to clean it up, so best get into it. That's the surface where the gasket is going to run. Just take it nice and steady. I think I'll change the ends on that and get away from a wheel. Come out, you little vermin. Just hang on. The manifold face has been all cleaned up, and I've run a die nut on that one, and the thread is perfect. There's no problem. It does not require another stud. Replacing it would just be doing something that's not needed and costing more money. Pointless. Right, time to start making a pipe. Oh, and for the record, they're 3/8 imperial thread coarse, okay? I really don't like the way that is. Everything points down, even with that up where he said to put it. It's pointing down. I don't like it. Nothing's been used on the factory mount up here, which is there. Not going to be able to do too much with that anyway, because of the way it's been made, and that's, yeah, it's not ideal. But if I can loosen this and rotate it, that should swing around into a higher position to be able to come somewhere around here rather than under here and gain some height. Okay, the front's off, been cleaned up. I've changed the flange plate I'm going to use because the one that was on it, quite frankly, was the wrong shape for a taper. He said, I just took it up to here. Well, I don't want to have it down there, and it's pointing uphill. This is not brilliant. The factory mount has not been utilised, and that's a very basic way of hanging things when there's something far better. But I am not permitted to go adjusting much. So what I might do, loosen this off, go wriggle jiggle and rotate that around that way, which would enable me to get it up through here rather than down here. And now if I trim it back a bit past that, make it a far neater job. I just like to do things right. This little bit of mucking around, I'm not going to charge him for. I just want it right. This is one of the ways you can make the tapered flare with the insert without having to cut a piece after you've flared the other bit and then push it in, which is always a small size. This tooling I have here, there are other styles that go inside a cup. This just happens to be the one on this. So we get the tubing with the correct size one, and I do have a different size for the early Holdens. It's 1/8 of an inch difference. It makes all the difference. This one's the 2-inch. So hold your ears, this is going to be loud. You'll notice it starts to expand it. So we just get that off there, move it around so the segments aren't in flat sections. Go again, feeling there more with your fingers than with your eyes. Just till it gets to the size where it wants to flare that, but you don't want to expand that bit. And again, just enough to take it to the next segment. Okay, that's that bit. See how these parts push out on that? Now that is not going to seat a gasket, so what do? Going over there. This part here will sit into the little taper here. Holding it back against it. Put a little adapter in. That one's got a flat section on it. So we take it up so it touches. Make sure it's nice and square. Now you watch here. It starts to collapse. Move it around a little bit. And check it against the gasket. As you can see, it's made the flare and it's all one piece. Gasket goes on, sits in the taper, and that little piece of guide is what goes up inside the manifold. If you use the smaller piece that is pressed in, you've got a gap, it's more likely that it might leak. So I get to the car now, I've already got one bend in it. Okay, test fitting it up there. You see how it sits neatly? And now, where I am, down here, I put a bend in it to bring it around in this general direction. Because up there, compress it a little with the taper, I haven't gone too far, and I'm going to adjust that. I can make it come any angle I want, keeping it away from the oil pressure sender. So with trusty Sharpie in hand, I see where I want to go. And I want to be coming around there just a little bit more. That height is good, I like that. I want to be coming back to here. in that general line. So the closest way to get it is the inside of the bend. Mark it there, and on a horizontal we're going to go there. So that is where I'm going to put my next bend, on about the right sort of angle. Ready. Put the little mark there, and that's at the centre, high-low of the shoes, and that's where the pusher die is going to come in. So we'll come in, I'll give that probably, I don't know, maybe 20 degrees to start with. So 20 degrees down here. None of this is rocket science or accurate. It's do it as you go. And again, test fit. Okay, I've brought it around to where I wanted it, and then to get the height I wanted, I've added another bend here, which gives me better clearance to the cross member and levels out the angle to the back part. I am making this so the engine pipe is separate to the muffler assembly and the long intermediate, just easier to deal with all kinds of maintenance issues that I believe are ongoing. So what I'm going to do now is simply make sure I've got clearance, cut it there, install this, and I'll be putting on a plate and then joining to the other section. And I've managed to get it higher. We're no longer down here where he was expecting it to be, and we have got good clearance to grease nipple for the front shackles. They really had real shackles back in the day. We greased them and little bronze bushes. Okay, so I will now do that, and I'll show you when it's bolted up and the plate's on. So we're all up in place, well clear of everything, brought it back nicely and joined it, and now it's just being joined onto the pre-existing pipe, which has been rotated to gain this much height. I'm going to reclamp it. I might support it there because it's meant to be, and there's absolutely nothing holding that up apart from a little rubber strap. And who uses bathroom silicone on an exhaust system? Ridiculous. Anyway, I'm not going to touch it, I'm not going to play with it. I'm doing what I've been asked to do and improved it a little bit better as well. So what's better? This abomination with all of its crinkles and yuck, or this with the correct style of plate on it, all back nice, joined into the pre-existing system. I did change that clamp because the other one was all crushed, and now we have a support bracket going up to the factory main rubber support for the muffler, so now it's got some weight holding ability. And the back, well, I've just left that well enough alone. A bit better than being down here, eh? And interestingly, on these, they don't have a spinning tail shaft. Right, that's an outer tube, the tail shaft runs inside it. All the way back to the diff. Either way, I'm a dinosaur now, and this thing was produced 11 years before I was born. And of course, with the 1950 Chev, things may or may not be the way they were originally. That's a handbrake lever going onto a chain which rotates that, which pulls that, which is a handbrake cable. Isn't that something truly unique? Well, for me it is. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I do work on older cars, older pickups. There's no such thing as a quote with these, it's an estimate. The gentleman didn't even want one. That's fine, I've solved the problem, I'm being kind on labour, and not paying for any of the time that I'm videoing. So there you go. And this, my fine feathered friends, is a 235 cubic inch 6-cylinder Chevrolet engine. And I haven't tried it, but it's a dirty great big Claxton. Okay, got it all running nicely. You see I've got the correct flange going down there. Oh, a bit echoey down in the engine bay. Let me give it just a little bit of a rev. Nice and quiet. And from behind the vehicle, everything coming out where it's meant to. A work of art, this thing. And yet, back in the day, they were just a pickup. Not these days. Left-hand drive. It's been in the country for 18 months, I'm led to believe. And to the point where it's obviously had a new gauge or something put in. It's got 440 miles on the dial. And younger generation anti-theft devices down here everywhere. I love it. Okay, thanks for watching. In Maryborough, Queensland, I'm here for you. Please continue to comment, like, maybe share the video with somebody. If you're following on Facebook, good on you. If not, please follow. It's free. If you're watching this on YouTube, please consider subscribing to the channel, where you'll see repairs, tricks, tips, some classic vehicles and some sporty vehicles and mum and dad cars. So I'm just a small regional workshop in Queensland. See you later.